Hello, loves. Welcome to your new moon in Pisces reading. We're going to start with a collective reading, and then we're going to jump into a pick a card reading where you can pick a more personalized message. But before we get started, I just want to say that welcome if you have never been here before, and welcome back if you are a returning viewer. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on this video. Share it as well. Really would appreciate you helping this channel grow. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into the video. So this new moon in Pisces is happening on Wednesday, March 2nd, and if you're on the East Coast like I am, it's happening at 12:34 p.m., which is really synchronistic in itself, right? Because 12:34 is 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're into numerology and synchronicities, that's really amazing. So this is a really, really magical time. And if we're talking about what the new moon in Pisces means, I laid out two oracle cards from two moonology decks that signify what the new moon in Pisces means. So we have one that says meditate and contemplate, and then we have one that says attune to the divine. So this is a really big time for intuitive connection, for really standing still, and contemplating any number of things. It really is going to be personal to each person in this reading, and that's what's going to be great about the second part of this video with the pick a card. But this meditation and contemplation, if you think about water, and Pisces being the last water sign, it really is the depths of our emotions. The sun and the moon will be exactly conjunct in the sign of Pisces. And Pisces is ruled by Neptune, which is the higher octave of Venus, really in touch with the divine, really in touch with a higher creative purpose, the collective unconscious. So it could be the meditation that connects you really with a higher spiritual calling and really connecting you with the divine, whether that is your angels, whether it's your spirit team, whether it's your ancestors who are trying to connect with you, who have crossed over. And that's a really, really big time to contemplate, especially since we are in the final sign of the astrological year, and about to kick off a new year in spring when Aries season starts, contemplating, what we have witnessed, what we've experienced over this past, cycle, within the spiral of our lives, in this astrological year that we've gone through from Aries season in 2021 to Pisces in 2022. So really allow yourself to, swim in the depths, like the moon card in the major arcana, contemplate. And if we're looking at, making a transition from the old to the new, it's almost like an internal tower moment, if you will, of, what is it that we're ready to put on the fire of our lives that we're not wanting to carry into, this next cycle of our lives, and allowing the divine in to give us some guidance. Have really been feeling that intuitively, and how different, we've been in a year that is ruled numerologically, excuse me, it's a tongue twister, by the number 6, which is a Venus year. How we're meant to make bigger and better connections, with others, rather than last year, which was a 5-year, where we might have had some really challenging, issues, maybe in relationships, maybe in our career, maybe just day to day struggling and trying to make it, but how we can make that transition going into the new, spiral of, this new astrological year. So really, really feeling that deeply. But first, before we look at the tarot spread, we're going to look at what archetypal energy is present and trying to guide us during this new moon season. And we have the Hierophant, and that really does speak to allowing in, divine higher wisdom. This card is, it used to be called the Pope in older tarot decks. And as well, it really does have a connection to the High Priestess. Like, the High Priestess is our connection to our higher self and the mysteries. The Hierophant is our connection to source, and it could be systems as well. It's what we experience after the Emperor of setting our foundation. We're going out into the world and experiencing things that are outside of ourselves, right? So it could be new spiritual practices. It could be meeting different groups and communities that really do vibe with you. Have been getting a lot of that, really, especially with Pisces. A lot of it is very spiritual in nature. So, just a higher spiritual calling, a higher, wanting to really tune into that higher spiritual wisdom. And that's present for everyone in the collective. So, being that we just came out of 2021, which was a Hierophant year, it's like wrapping up those lessons too, where we had some challenges where Hierophant can really deal with authoritative systems as well. How are we meditating and contemplating on how we move forward, being that we are really grappling with the way that systems have let us down, really, government systems, and just the way that, even if we're talking about COVID, and the wealth gap and the rolling back of reproductive rights. And, I am a very political person. I don't know how to separate my politics from my tarot reading. I'm very into, social justice work as it comes to the tarot, because I really don't feel like spiritual work can be separated from how we benefit and serve the collective. And sometimes, a lot of times that means, how does this affect the most marginalized communities? And Hierophant systems have really let down people who are most vulnerable in society, right? So if we're tuning into the divine, really leaning on, our guides to give us divine, guidance, how can we come together? What are we meditating on and contemplating where we can really change these systems for the better? Because Pluto's in Capricorn, we just had that conjunction for, I'm in the United States, I'm right outside of Baltimore, but that conjunction of the Pluto return of the United States is really shining a light on, the complete just letdown of our systems and the way that our country was founded on inequality, on murder, on genocide, and how that's rippled out into the world, the macrocosm. Look at what's happening in Ukraine. These systems that are just leaving the most vulnerable people and putting them in real danger. So that is a big thing to really contemplate, and that could apply in different ways for each of us. But let's go ahead and jump into the spread. And the first card that we're going to pull is what new beginnings and intentions are asking to be set with the energy of this new moon. And look at that. I was just talking about the High Priestess, and here she is making her appearance. The High Priestess card is ruled by the moon, and we're experiencing a new moon. It's really connecting with your higher self, your higher wisdom, allowing yourself to be in tune and aligned with your higher self, allowing yourself to consider, the duality in nature. You see how these pillars, one is white, one is black. It's like, everything has light and shadow. So it's like not focusing on one and neglecting the other in ourselves and in society. I'm not a big believer in, good vibes only. That I feel like that's a way of really bypassing a lot of, spiritual work that needs to be done, because social justice work, equality work, that is very spiritual. I don't think that you can really separate your values from spirituality, but I feel like, especially with this Hierophant here, it's like she's the papess and this is the Pope. Really blending those two energies and making them work together. It's like your inner energy being channeled outward as well, and allowing your highest self to guide you along the way, but definitely contemplating and letting your divine wisdom, the divine wisdom of your guides, ancestors in, in setting those intentions. Like, how do you plan to move forward in this Venus lovers year, where it's not just about us, it's not just about ourselves, it's about the collective, it's about us and another, the way that our values are mirrored outside of ourselves. So that's something really big to consider. So the second card is how we can renew and replenish ourselves. And oh my God, you guys, look at this, the Lovers in reverse. Okay, so the Lovers in reverse is really saying, when I see the Lovers in reverse, I read it a lot like the Devil card. How can we replenish and renew ourselves? It's like not allowing ourselves to be isolated, not in this moment of meditation and contemplation. The devil feeds on shame. And there may be ways that we feel like we have failed others or failed ourselves. But the real challenge is to turn this lovers upright and stay connected with other people, not allow ourselves to feel like we're alone, and definitely reaching out in times where we feel like, oh, I am by myself, nobody feels the way I do, or, just feeling shut down and, anxious, because, Pisces, it corresponds with the moon in the major arcana. And when there's moon energy present, it calls us in to kind of sit with what it is that we don't know. If you think about being up late at night, and things feel a lot bigger when you can't sleep and you're up and worried about something, or like, I don't know what's going to happen, I don't understand what's going on. It does make you feel very isolated. It can. And the Lovers in reverse is saying like that you can renew yourself by reaching out, by not allowing yourself to feel alone. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and with this Lovers card, I'm going to pull a clarifier too, just to make sure I'm on the right track, because I really do feel like it's asking for connection, especially in this Lovers year. It's like with it being in the reverse, it's like, no, that's not the way to renew yourself. It's the other way. Okay, we got another 6 here. We got the 6 of Wands, which is success, and it's another, 6. It's reciprocal energy. It's, recognizing, a victory within yourself, and then also allowing yourself to be celebrated. And then here again, we have the 7 of Wands. It's like valor. So really allowing yourself to channel, that success into a social cause, like defending other people. It could be defending your stance on something. Let me pull one more, because those two are right next to each other. Okay, and there we go. We got the 3 of Discs, which is the 3 of Pentacles works. And that is definitely working in a group, working in teams, not being by yourself. Leads to success, and probably leads to, fighting for a cause where you don't feel like you're doing it by yourself. Like each person has their own unique talent. And also something that I'm getting from this is that you're not fighting your own battles by yourself. Like if you're feeling this, Lovers in reverse energy, all these wands pointing at you, you don't feel like you have to point a wand back and defend yourself, because you have a community around you. So that's really, really beautiful. Okay, and then the last card that we have is, what is the darkness of this moon phase asking us to see with our third eye, not our physical eye, with our intuition? And we got the 9 of Swords in reverse. So this reading really couldn't be more aligned. This really corresponds with the moon card. Moon card is 18. It reduces down to a 9. And this is the 9 of Swords, which really speaks to being anxious, being worried, having those repetitive thoughts that make you feel alone. That's why with this Lovers in reverse, I was feeling, you know, devil energy, which can, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be addictions or, you know, toxic energy. It can just be a period where you feel so isolated that, or so worried about something that you don't feel vulnerable enough to share it. You feel like if you did, that possibly others would shame you, when actually the Six of Wands is like you would be celebrated for that act of vulnerability, that people would want to work together with you. So this Nine of Swords in reverse is saying, you know, to see with your third eye that, you know, the divine, your guides are really trying to reach out with you, especially with this Hierophant. I mean, do you see the moon in the background? It mirrors the moon in the High Priestess, that you're connected to a higher source, especially now in such an intuitive time. You know, we're all psychically really open, that you don't have to be in a space of worry and isolation by yourself, that you can allow spirit in, you can allow other people in, you can share. Like I said, Pisces ruled by Neptune. Neptune is a higher octave of Venus, the year that we're in, a Venus year. So being that this Venus energy is being magnified right now, it's like, how can you create more of a supportive community for yourself and also be a support for others? There's you know, there's a big calling in the collective for us to be a world community, you know, or to find our group, find, you know, our, I don't want to, what is another word for tribe? I really don't like to appropriate that, but like to find, you know, our soul family. So really, really, really awesome energy. So let's go ahead and pull some other oracle cards to give us some more energy. So, all right, we got Waning Crescent 5, peace. So yeah, calling in a sense of peace. And then let's pull one more. Yeah, because it's like this. Let me kind of move this out of the way. It's Lovers in reverse. This Nine of Swords energy is the antithesis of what this new moon in Pisces is trying to invite into our lives. You know, this High Priestess, Hierophant energy is really trying to connect us to our higher selves and the divine, and really bring some peace and love into our lives. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, let's see. We got Harvest Moon, fruition. So yeah, there's a period that's coming to a close, and look at this. 37 reduces down to a 10. 28 also reduces down to a 10. So it's like, you know, something is coming to fruition, a period of worry and separation that really does bring you into connection with other people. You know, it is the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. And then here we go with another two beginnings. Look at that, fruition and beginnings. Couldn't be more aligned. So the next and final cards that we're going to pull are what guides can we look to? Okay. What overall guides are kind of walking with us during this period, during this new moon in Pisces. And we have Archangel Zadkiel, transmutation, violet flame, mercy. Okay, so really, didn't I say something about not being hard on yourself with this Lovers in reverse, Nine of Swords in reverse energy, like self-forgiveness, transmutation of old energy that brings in a sense of peace. Violet flame, violet really does connect to the third eye, the crown chakra. Here we go with another 10. That couldn't be more aligned. So, you know, you might want to call on Archangel Zadkiel, you know, for some, you know, for tuning into the divine for some guidance. Let's see who else might be walking with us. Okay, and Archangel Azrael. This is card 14, reduces down to a 5 with the Hierophant. Death and rebirth. Here we go. Transmutation. Didn't I say, like, transmutation is taking, you know, something and turning it, like alchemy, into something else. And death and rebirth is putting things on the fire, just like I said, and rebirthing into a new season, just like we're going to be doing at the end of this Pisces season, moving into Aries season. Transitions. Look at these 10s. 10s are transitions into a new cycle. Life changes. So yes, 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 that is everything, guys. So like during this period, the intentions that we're meant to set are just really for a new earth, a new, excuse me, there's some dust and stuff, but a new way of, you know, moving through life as a collective is really what I'm getting. You know, the old ways aren't working anymore, like we have really discovered over the course of 2021, in that Hierophant year, that really, if we go the way that we've been going, it's not sustainable. We can't go on the way that we've been, you know, moving through life. And especially if we are thinking so much, you know, about ourselves on an individualistic level, we're really meant to be in this three of discs, you know, collaborating, working together, towards a new cycle, you know, really, you know, transmuting old energy and creating something completely new, a more peaceful existence for everyone, a new beginning. So that is beautiful. And that is all the messages that I'm seeing for the collective for this new moon in Pisces. So let me know in the comments if any of this resonated with you, if you've been feeling any of this energy coming up. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to smash like and, you know, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Share this with a friend, help this channel grow, and hopefully we will all grow together in spirit. But this is the conclusion of the collective reading, and then we're going to move right into the pick a card. So I will see you in a bit. Okay, bye. Okay, welcome back. So this is the pick a card portion of the new moon in Pisces reading. And what we're going to do now is look at each of the piles, and each one has a separate crystal with a different meaning. And I'm going to explain what they are. And then we're going to do a quick 30-second meditation. And then I will put on top of each pile a different oracle card with a statement that might help you as well to sink into which pile might be calling to you. So let's go ahead and get started with the crystals. For pile 1, we have orange calcite, which is great for new beginnings. In pile 2, we have amethyst, which is great for intuitive connection. It's great for protection. This is a great all-around, all-purpose crystal. It's purple, so it has connection to the third eye chakra, crown chakra. So connecting with your guides, if that's something that is calling to you, this might be something that you want to pick. And then pile 3, we have black obsidian, which is great for protecting, dispelling, and sending away negative energy, also grounding. So if you feel like you need extra protection during this season of your life and during this new moon period, this might be your pile. And then for pile 4, we have spirit quartz, which is great for harmony, alignment, and nurturing spiritual growth. So if that's something that you're feeling called toward, then pile 4 might be your pile. So now we're going to take a few deep breaths. I would suggest breathing in for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, and then exhaling out of your mouth for 4 seconds. And doing that 3 times, and then the last time really taking time to exhale, like, and releasing that energy that's pent up in you. And I'm going to play some meditative music for 30 seconds, and you can look at these piles, run your hand over each of them, see if maybe you get some, kind of zip or tingle in your fingers or your palm. Use your left hand. That's the seat of your intuition. So I'm going to go ahead and start that music now, and I will see you in 30 seconds. Okay, and welcome back. So now I've placed 4 oracle cards on each pile, 1 oracle card on each of the 4 piles, excuse me, and I'm going to read them to you so that if this gives you a little bit of extra help in picking your pile, maybe one of these statements really calls to you. So for pile 1, we have, true healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. And I'll read that again. True healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. That's for pile 1. And pile 2. The moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly get to work. The moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly get to work. Pile 3, my fearless freedom lights up the world. My fearless freedom lights up the world. And last but not least, pile 4, my capacity to tune into the energy of love gives me the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, the compassion I need when it's time to forgive, and the power I need when I am lost. My capacity to tune into the energy of love gives me the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, the compassion I need when it's time to forgive, and the power I need when I am lost. Okay, so those are your crystals and your statements. So if you need to take a few more seconds to pick your piles, pause the video and go ahead and pick your piles, and then I will see you in your reading. Okay, bye. Hello, pile 1, and welcome to your reading. So this is for the pile that picked the orange calcite, which is great for new beginnings, which in the collective reading, we talked a lot about new beginnings. And your oracle card says, true healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. Okay, so what we're going to do is, since we already talked about the collective energy for the new moon in Pisces, we're going to look at what card signifies the energy that you're meant to work with specifically during this new moon in Pisces. And we got the Queen of Wands. Okay, so this is excellent energy for the new moon. The Queen of Wands really is, the ultimate witchy energy is what I get from her. There's usually a black cat in this card, and that usually reminds me of a familiar. I have 2 black cats. I'm an Aries, and this card also is ruled by Aries. The Queen of Wands is cardinal fire. So Aries are initiators, they're starters. The Queen of Wands, she really does move from a place of feeling and passion. It's fire and water that are, the elements of this card. So it really is a time to contemplate what it is that you want to start creating in this next cycle of your life, this new beginning. You see this orange really corresponds with the sacral chakra, and there's lots of orange in this card. So if you're meditating and contemplating and you were drawn to this card that talks about healing and giving yourself permission to heal what lives below the triggers, maybe you're meditating and contemplating and really calling in your guides and ancestors, tuning into your higher self to really heal some of those past traumas that have dampened your passion, is something that I'm seeing with the Queen of Wands, because when she is out of balance, she really can't create in the way that she wants to. She can feel very irritated and agitated because her passion, her fire feels very dampened. It might feel like there's more water there than fire. And, water and fire create steam. Those are usually two elements that are very hard to alchemize. You need spirit in order to, allow those two to dance together and, become something magical. If you're familiar with the Temperance card, it's all about, balance. And there's an element of fire and water. That angel, we can't, as human beings, do that. We have to call in the divine to be able to really make something of those two elements, that energy. So there may be a real need to, do some healing, meditation, contemplation. Meditation doesn't always have to look like the traditional sitting down on your couch or sitting down in a quiet place with your eyes closed, listening to music. Meditation can be a lot of things. You can walk and meditate. You can do things with your hands and meditate. You can write and meditate. I love to knit and crochet when I meditate. Anything that kind of gets you in a state of flow where your mind isn't so activated is really what it is, that is being asked of you right now with this new moon in Pisces energy. So what we're going to look at is these three cards are do this, don't do that, and the takeaway for this period. But before we jump into this, we're going to shake up some dice that can also give us a little bit of information, some divination. So what messages are there for my pile ones? All right, so we got the North Node, Aries, and the fifth house. Okay, fifth house is all about creativity. So that really aligns with the Queen of Wands. We got Aries here again. Queen of Wands is Aries. And the North Node is where we're meant to move towards in this life. It's opposite the South Node of where we're coming from, in a past life or, from our childhood. So really could be doing some serious past life healing with the divine to get to a sense of, who am I and what do I want to create for myself, or, what is my passion? The fifth house is the natural ruler of Leo, and the sun, the natural house of the sun. And that's where Aries is exalted, where the sun is exalted is in Aries. So really trying to get in tune with self so that you can blaze a new trail for yourself and really reach your destiny point, because that is what the North Node is. So that's a really big call for you, and attune to the divine, because in Pisces season, we're all really open to spirit, and they could be giving you some really, really helpful information on how to heal some of these triggers. I know I've been experiencing lots of triggers lately. I'm growing this channel, and sometimes, I'll put out a video and I'm like, oh, this is going to be the time that, people really find me. And I know one of my triggers is feeling invisible. And that comes from my childhood. It comes from past life work, not being seen. And that has been a repeating theme in my life. So I've really had to kind of do a lot of work around that so that I can continue to create, because I feel like, this is my purpose, my calling. So really allowing yourself to do healing around whatever it is that's triggering you and blocking your creations. So your first card is do this, Page of Wands in reverse. So being that you have the Queen of Wands here as your archetypal energy for this new moon in Pisces, the Page of Wands in reverse really tells me that like you can also be in a period of curiosity and study. The fact that the page is in the reverse is saying that we can try to run before we walk, right? The pages are the students kind of, or the children. And also if I'm thinking about healing, really doing some inner child work, right? So really leaning on that. This card is, you know, I read all of the pages as fixed energy. So this is fixed fire. That's Leo. Leo corresponds to the 5th house, and Leo really does speak to inner child healing. So really looking at where, you know, with the North Node present here, where from the past some of these triggers have come from, and you know, learning to recognize them. What parts of yourself. I'm really big on internal family systems work. When I see court cards, I like to read them as parts of ourselves. So that might be something that you want to look up. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying there are things that you can Google and look up, but parts work is really, really great for healing triggers, because you get to really tend and befriend the parts of yourself that feel like they didn't get what they needed and reparent them. So that's what I'm seeing why this Page of Wands is in reverse. It's like, don't try to maybe level up to this Queen without doing some of this inner child exploration, or that this Queen is here to kind of tend to your inner child as well. But let's go ahead and pull a clarifier for this Page of Wands. Why is the Page of Wands here in reverse for pile 1? Okay. And there we go. We got the Prince of Discs. So that is, I believe, this is the Knight of Pentacles, which is reliability is the key word on this card. And sorry, I don't know where that came from. So really being able to do that inner work so that your inner child feels a sense of stability is what I'm seeing with this reliability. There may be parts of yourself that don't feel stable and safe and secure. And, you know, that can really, you know, cause a lot of false starts in our life. It makes a lot of sense, because if we haven't felt safe and secure to make a leap, why would we try, you know? Or if we've tried to make a leap and not felt supported, you know, we could end up feeling like a failure, even though it's not us that failed. It's the people in our lives that, you know, were, you know, expected to take care of us, right? You know, that had a responsibility and a duty to show up for us and create that stable base for us, that, you know, didn't do that. And that creates kind of, you know, one of those first triggers. And it's like learning how to rely on yourself, rely on people, rely on spirit. So there is some work that needs to be done around that. Okay, and then here's don't do that. Ace of Swords in reverse. And with this Ace of Swords in reverse, what I'm really getting is don't allow yourself, don't cloud your mind with, have you ever heard, there is a term called first thought wrong, and it really is useful when thinking about triggers. Like if you say something to yourself and it's negative, try to think of a thought replacement for it. Like, I'm not good enough. Try to think of a way to, you know, replace that thought with, you know, I'm learning and growing every day, you know. But, you know, the Ace of Swords in reverse is like an unclear mind, you know, and that's not saying that, you know, you're crazy. I hate that word. I absolutely hate it, you know, but, or that you don't know what you're talking about or anything. It's just the way that our mind can be a little bit sneaky. And in Pisces season, you know, moon energy is present where, you know, we might feel like we're second guessing ourselves. It's, you know, this Ace of Swords is saying, you know, to be gentle with yourself. Don't believe everything that your mind is trying to tell you, because it might be that you're triggered, you know, and it's your triggers speaking. It's not, you know, your true self that is speaking to you. So, you know, be very aware of what, you allow yourself to say to you, so that's really what I'm picking up there. And the takeaway from this period for you is the King of Swords in reverse. Okay, so you got 4 court cards here. So the King of Swords in reverse, excuse me, is saying that with any king, there is a social responsibility, and that you may not be quite there yet. The kings are, they've learned all of the lessons of the suit that they're in. So the King of Swords has learned, the ace all the way up to the Queen of Swords. And here in the don't do that space, you have the Ace of Swords in the reverse. So maybe what it's saying, especially since you have the Queen of Wands present here, is not to be so brain focused. When I see Wands energy, it really does tell me, like, get out of your head and into your body, especially with this 5th house energy. I relate it to pleasure. The 5th house also, it rules our creativity. It also is the house of pleasure and sex and fun, so maybe how can you tune into a little bit more fun, create some spaciousness so that you can kind of separate yourself from being on the mental hamster wheel. And that doesn't mean that I'm saying like you have to go out and have sex, like that could be for some of you guys, or it could be that you need to tune into your own sensuality and, kind of get back to yourself. But there's so many ways that can be taken, but especially with this Aries energy here in, the astrological dice and in the Queen of Wands, it really is a time for you to focus on your healing process. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pull a couple of oracle cards. And this is the Queen of the Moon oracle. We're going to get one of these, and then we're also going to look at a manifestation. Oh, let's see. There's one that's face up. Let's see if this might just be a message for you. Oh, it says supermoon attraction. Okay, so that could be something, especially the Queen of Wands, like she is very attractive and she's able to attract what she wants to her because of the radiant energy that she exudes. So that could be, something that really speaks to wanting to manifest something. But let's take a look at the Moonology manifestation deck and see what comes out for you. And then we'll look at what angel or archetype, what spirit might want to work with you. Okay, and we got full moon in Virgo. Take inspired action. Okay, inspired action. That is very Queen of Wands, even though this is Virgo, because when the full moon is in Virgo, we're going to have one of those this month because that's when the sun is in Pisces and the moon is in Virgo. Those two opposite energies are at play. So that's very aligned with the energy of this month too. It's, taking inspired action. And with this healing card here, it's, healing so that you can have some new beginnings with this orange calcite. So we'll go ahead and we'll put this here. All right, and we got last moon in Aquarius. Reflect on your priorities. So that really is a message for you as well, but it didn't come out on top, so I'm going to just leave that out of your spread. And now we're going to look at some angels, some archangels, some spiritual beings that may want to walk with you, who wants to connect with you during this new moon in Pisces. Who wants to connect with pile 1? All right, Archangel Jophiel. And look, we got some more orange here. Joy, inspiration, more inspiration, Wands energy, radiance, okay? Attraction. So really leaning into that inspiration, leaning into joy and fun. So that is really, really amazing for you. Just remember, when you get into the swords energy, just like I said in the collective reading, we're in a 6th year. We're also in Pisces season. Don't think that you have to do this alone. Reach out. to your ancestors, to your angels, but reach out to other people as well. Don't, isolate yourself. Because this Ace of Swords in reverse, King of Swords in reverse, Page of Wands in reverse, this really feels like internal energy, like just wanting to stay inside of yourself. And sometimes we do need time to ourselves, but this feels very like forced isolation. And pile one, you deserve more than that, okay? You deserve to have a safe, supportive group around you. So just remember that, okay? And I really, really hope that, over these next 2 weeks until we get to the full moon in Virgo, that you can really lean into some of your joy, lean into something that inspires you. And, I really, really wish the best for you over this time. I feel like you're planting a real seed for a new beginning that, really looks different than, the time that came before it. But that's all I'm seeing for you, pile one. Make sure to leave a comment letting me know how this pile you picked resonated for you, and what pile you picked. So I want to thank you for your presence, your time, and your energy. That's truly where the magic happens. And thank you to all the collective guides and angels for these wonderful messages. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel with folks who could benefit from the messages. And hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future messages. Stay safe, be gentle with yourselves, and I'll see you soon again, okay? Bye, pile one. Hello, pile two, and welcome to your reading. This is for the pile that picked the amethyst and that picked the oracle card that says, the moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly get to work. So we already went over the collective energy for the new moon in Pisces. And what we're going to do is we're going to shake up some astro dice and get some more information. We're going to look at the archetype that you are working with, pile two, for the new moon in Pisces. And then we're going to get into your tarot spread and pull some oracle cards. So before we do the astro dice, what I want to do is look at your archetypal card. And it's the Devil. Okay? And don't be scared by the Devil. Okay, this is one of the ones that are the stereotypical scary cards in the tarot, but I really don't think it is. From what I was getting in the collective reading, and if you haven't watched it, I think it would be particularly important for your pile to watch, because we did pull the Lovers in reverse, which the Lovers is a card pairing for the Devil, is that there might be a lot of worry or fear and isolation, or thoughts that might keep you in isolation is what I'm feeling as the Devil energy. Because if you look at the traditional card of the Lovers, well, I mean, look, there are two people in this card that are represented by the lovers that are in the Lovers card. You're not alone. And normally they're in chains that they can easily loose themselves from. But if you're so focused on, worries that make you feel like you're completely isolated, you can't look up and see the person, that is across from you that can help you. You two can help each other to free yourselves, right? We're not meant to do things alone and be isolated, but the Devil thrives on that, thrives on our fear. So that is something, archetypally that you are working with in this Pisces season, is kind of letting go maybe of some fears that might keep you in separation from others. The Lovers card is ruled by Gemini, but it's a 6th card, and we're in a 6th year ruled by the Lovers, and in numerology, 6 is ruled by Venus. So, really is about connection. So connection with the divine, connection with other people. And, it says here, the moment I embrace peace within, that you may not be feeling particularly peaceful within, and feelings like you can surrender, that the universe can get to work, doing whatever it is that you would like to see happen in your life. So let's go ahead and shake up these dice and get some more information. What other information do we have for pile two? Okay, so we have Mars, we have Pisces, and the 6th house. Okay, so Mars is exalted in Capricorn. Mars is the planet of action. It can also be aggression, but it's very interesting. We have Pisces and we're in the new moon in Pisces, that you might be trying to take more action towards connection, because Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and, Neptune is really about, the higher octave of Venus wanting to spread love, to be connected on, and it doesn't just have to be romantic love. It could be, love in general, of others, people that, you may not have seen as, being one with or wanting to connect with before, but now, some of these changes that may be coming into your life, or new ways of thinking, ways that you've been contemplating how you would like to free yourself or liberate your thoughts, that, it might be infiltrating your everyday and really changing the way that you want to move through your life. The sixth house rules our everyday routines. If you think about the sixth house and how it's different than the 10th house, sixth house rules our work, and I think more like our everyday job. 10th house is more like our career, what we want to be known for. So with sixth house being here, it's like, our everyday, what we do every day, what we take action on, right? With Mars here every day, and how with Pisces here, it can bring, a more spiritual connection into our lives that, makes us feel more connected to the divine, that makes us feel more of a sense of peace and surrender. That, because sometimes with Mars, I'm in Aries, I understand this, like, we don't like to surrender to the outcome, and that's very cardinal energy. And Mars energy is like, you want to control what happens, and make sure that the outcome that you intended is what, happens. But I see this Mars in Pisces as, really allowing yourself to take action and giving the outcome over to the divine's will, letting that work in your life, and really letting that become like a routine, a ritual. And it's freeing from this devil energy. So let's go ahead and look at your tarot spread. And each card, I'll explain what they are right now. This is do this, don't do that. And this is the takeaway from this period for you. Okay, pile two. So let's go ahead and get into it. So what is your do this? All right, the Seven of Swords in reverse. And this, to me, with the devil present, it really feels, the Seven of Swords upright. Let's pull this upright. Sometimes this can be like the sneaky card, like somebody's getting something over on you or lying to you, and that very well could be true. But it also can be, that we are holding back parts of ourselves, right? It doesn't always have to be, that we're out and out lying, or that someone's lying to us. It can be, you never know what kind of trauma, someone has, or what kind of background they have, what they've been judged for in the past, which I feel like with this devil energy, that makes them feel like they can't really, there are certain things that they can't say, or, should I really say this? Will it be accepted? And I can feel that with this Mars energy, where, you might have experienced a lot of aggression, and that could have been like an everyday thing with the sixth house energy. And it just, could have really made you feel, with the Seven of Swords, like, I don't know who's really safe, who has this devil energy that's going to make me feel like you're not good enough, or, why did you say that? Or that's too much, you're too much, and made you silence yourself, or, it really did, really burdened you, and you didn't feel that inner peace. That to do this with the Seven of Swords in reverse, I'm getting the feeling that it's saying, like, it's time to really show yourself. The devil can be a moment of recognition of the ways that you really need to be liberated. With Mars here, the Tower card is ruled by Mars, and that is a period, where we're clearing out what's not meant for us, or the universe is. And, with this Mars and Pisces, it could be letting the divine do its thing, like letting that Tower come in and clear out what's not meant for, not serving you. But let's go ahead and clarify the Seven of Swords in reverse. Seven of Swords for pile 2. Okay. And we got the Ace of Discs, which is the Ace of Pentacles, and it says wealth. So yeah, the moment I embrace my peace within and surrender, the outcome is the moment the universe can truly get to work. And it could be that the universe is really trying to, with this 6th house, if it's something with your career where you're feeling a sense of stagnancy, plant seeds of moving forward in your life where, your everyday feels more authentic, that the actions you take in your everyday work, your routine, they're more aligned with you. And, the Pentacles, the suit of discs, it's earth energy. So it's health, wealth, happiness. Wealth can mean so many things. It could be a wealth of, the quality of people in your life. It can be actual material wealth and abundance. It doesn't mean that you have to be like rolling in it, but doing better, in your everyday than you thought was ever possible for you. And then, a new period of renewed health. And that could be mental health as well, right? We have Pisces here in the 6th house. Pisces is the natural ruler of the 12th house, which is the house of hidden enemies, of, the collective unconscious and, our unconscious thoughts that, things that we feel like we can't access. But really like planting a seed of a new beginning for you, that where you don't feel the 7 of Swords energy of having to hold yourself back, that you can truly, be present, and show up as your in your fullness. So the next card is Don't Do That. And we got the Ace of Wands in reverse. Yeah. And I'm getting a similar energy here. The Ace of Wands in reverse is like, don't let anybody don't dim your light for anybody else's comfort. Don't try not to shine just because it makes other people uncomfortable, or they've told you, don't do this or don't say that, because as sad as it is, people can pretend to be for you and they're really rooting for you to fail. And I've experienced that in my life. And some of that is the most painful experiences that you will ever feel. And it's really sad that people feel, do that to other people. But in this new moon in Pisces, where you're attuning to the divine, you're dealing with this devil energy. This really does feel like people who have tried to tell you, like, not to be your full self, not to show up in your fullness, like not to channel your Mars energy, your passion, which is really expansive with this Pisces, like it's all encompassing, which is really beautiful energy. It's like almost like it made people in your life possibly jealous or envious of you, and they, didn't know how to deal with that other than to try to make you feel small. But let's go ahead and clarify that as well. But it's just saying, like, don't do that to fit in with other people, because the people that are for you, that are meant to be with, in your life, they won't do that. So you got 2 of Swords, decisions. So it's like making the choice, of whether you're gonna, whether you're going to allow your light to be dimmed, or whether you're going to, or allow yourself to shine. But it's really asking you to align your thoughts with your emotions and not let one overtake the other. Like, don't go too far into mentalizing, and then don't get swept up in the sea of your emotions, but, that you just maintain a mental balance and clarity. But yes, shine, because you have a right to, and no one has the right to tell you not to. Okay, so let's look at your takeaway Okay, and we got the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. So the Queen of Pentacles in reverse is telling me that like you're meant to be comfortable, especially with this Ace of Discs. Like you're meant to really have a sense of groundedness and be rooted and to feel abundant. So if there is anybody in your life that makes you feel, and I'm sorry, let me close down the window a little bit. It's really, there, that's better. If there's anybody in your life that makes you feel like there's something that you don't deserve, or you know, that you're not good enough, that's a really good indicator to exit stage left, or tell them to, you know, to go because you have a right to everything, you know, just as much as the next person. And maybe that's something, this is a period of contemplation of the way that, you know, you've been taken advantage of in relationships. I really feel this, you know, from particularly for you, pile 2, and the way that it's affected your everyday with this 6th house, the way that it's affected, you know, your existence on the material plane. But yeah, that, you know, you're meant to have a peaceful existence. You're supposed to be able to surrender and not feel a sense of tightness in a group of people that you're with, you know, or the people in your life. You shouldn't feel tense when, you know, somebody who's your friend or, you know, your partner, what have you, walks into a room. You should be able to relax, right? So that is really, really important to pay attention to the ways, especially with these pentacles, you know, also deals with the body, the way things feel in your body. The 6th house deals with health. So really, I'm sensing bodily feedback too, like the way that if you're feeling agitated with this Mars energy, or, you know, feeling on edge or anxious because of a certain person, that's a really big energetic, you know, feedback. And it could be coming from your guides too, like trying to get your attention, like that this is not good for you. So really, really pay attention to that. So what we're going to do is pull some oracle cards for you just to get some more information. Okay. And here we go. We got Waxing Crescent 1, Realization. And this is card 3. If we relate it to the major arcana, that's the Empress. And the Queen of Pentacles, she has very Empress-like energy, like, you know, a period of expansion and, you know, receptivity, able to receive. Feels like you've been doing a lot of giving and not receiving back the same amount that you give to other people. And that is something that really needs to come to a close in this period, where Pisces season is the end of an astrological year, and we're going to kick it off in Aries. And then here we have Waxing Crescent 2, Acceptance. So that's really coming to accept yourself, embrace yourself, embrace your peace, and protect your peace, but not allowing other people to make you feel less than, with this 7 of Swords in reverse, Ace of Wands in reverse, asking you to dim yourself, but having true acceptance for who you are, so that if there are people in your life that ask you to dim yourself, you can tell them to go to hell, basically, because nobody who is truly, you know, meant to be in your life and is your friend, your homie, your, you know, somebody that loves you won't do that to you. Okay, and here we go. First quarter moon in Gemini, speak your world into being. Okay, so seven of Swords in reverse, that's what it's saying. Like, don't hold back. Where the 7 of Swords upright would be like, there are things I shouldn't say. Maybe there are things that, you know, people wouldn't find, you know, okay, or they wouldn't accept me if I said that. Speak your world into being, because what you say really has power. And then what you say about yourself really does affect your energy if you want to be this Queen of Pentacles, because she's coming up in the reverse almost because I get the sense that it's like people have convinced you that you don't deserve this, but you do. So, you know, watch the way that you speak to yourself, because you're always listening, right? Okay, let's pull what angel or archangel or spirit archetype wants to walk with you during this period of the new moon in Pisces over the next 2 weeks until we get to the full moon in Virgo. Okay, and Merlin, so that's alchemy, manifestation, magician. So speaking your world into being, that is big manifestation energy. This Ace of Wands in reverse, turn that upright. You know, we're in Pisces season, which, you know, we're really in tune with the divine. They want to help us, you know, alchemize, really, you know, with this Two of Swords, blend that heart-mind energy. This Ace of Wands, you know, feel what it would feel like to be where it is that you want to be, and, you know, to be in this place of acceptance of yourself. And that will really help you to take action. You know, Mars is all about action. We can't manifest without actually doing. Yes, visualization and all of that is well and good, but if you're not doing anything physically, you know, faith without works is dead, right? You have to believe, but then do something about it, but that will help you to manifest. So, you know, look up Merlin. Also, this reduces down to a 6, right? That's the counterbalance to devil energy, is the Lovers. So, you know, really think about, you know, the ways that you can, you know, manifest more self-love, more acceptance, yeah, and more of a sense of ease and comfort, because in the feeling that you deserve to be in this Queen of Pentacles energy. But yeah, like, call in this energy and read about Merlin and, you know, the ways that you can really work with that archetype. So yes, that is what I'm seeing for you, pile 2. Make sure you leave a comment letting me know which pile you picked and how it resonated for you. And I want to thank you for your presence, time, and energy. That's truly where the magic happens. And thank you to all the collective guides and angels for these wonderful messages. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel. While you're at it, hit the notification bell so you don't miss my future videos. Stay safe, be gentle with yourselves, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye, pile 2. Hello, pile 3, and welcome to your reading. This is for the pile who picked the Black Obsidian and picked the Oracle card that says, "My fearless freedom lights up the world." So what we're going to do is take a look at the archetype that you're working with for this new moon in Pisces, and we're going to shake up some astro dice to get a little bit more information. Then we're going to go into your spread and pull some more oracle cards. So let's go ahead and get started. So the archetype that you're working with, we're getting a lot of similar energies. Okay, is the 8 of Swords. So my fearless freedom lights up the world. What I'm getting with this 8 of Swords, and especially with the obsidian that you picked, is really wanting to feel a sense of safety, because the 8 of Swords can be when we are a little bit too close to a situation and we feel trapped, right? We can't see our way out. We're in the Smith Rider-Waite. The person in the card, they're blindfolded, they're bound, and they're surrounded by swords. But the binding that they're tied up with, they could easily loose themselves and, you know, pick up those swords and walk away, right? Or just create an opening and slip out. So the 8 of Swords really, you know, calls our attention, especially in this period of meditation and contemplation, of how, especially with this fearless freedom, that you really are trying to sort your way through a situation that feels kind of like it's got you entrapped, or you can't see your way through to the other side. And that's going to look different for all of you because this is a general reading, but it's like you wanting to really feel like a sense of liberation. You know, we're wrapping up the astrological year. So this, you know, the swords deal with the mind, and, how we think about certain things. Also deals about the way that we communicate. So like, what messages are you communicating to yourself about a certain situation that you're dealing with, where it may feel like, I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to get out of this. I really feel like I want to be done with this. In this period of meditation and contemplation, during this new moon, and being able to attune to the divine, because, Pisces is very connected to spirit, that it could really give you some of the answers that you're seeking, with this lighting up the world. It really could be a period of illumination, and I can't believe how aligned the Oracle card is to this tarot card, because fearless freedom is what you're seeking in a place where you might feel fear and entrapment. So let's go ahead and shake up some astrodice and get a little bit more information. So what else? What other messages do we have for pile 3? All right. So we have Saturn, the 8th house, and Taurus. Okay, and Saturn really does deal with restriction. Saturn is a planet that deals with hard lessons, and the 8th house is, it deals with other people's money. It deals with the occult. It deals with things that are hidden. It deals with mysteries and intimacy, really merging with another person. Taurus is another sign that is ruled by finances. So like, I'm really seeing here, especially for this pile, that there may be some kind of financial situation or financial burdens that you're really wanting to feel free of. You might be going through a hard period where, this is really big for the collective, this pandemic, and has really hurt a lot of people and hurt our economy. And not just the pandemic, but the way that, our systems, our governments have handled it. They, the rich have gotten richer, and the rest of us are left to fend for ourselves. And that might have put you in a really bad financial bind. And, with this 8th house energy, it's like not knowing too, if we're dealing with occult, occult is another word for hidden knowledge. It's like almost seeking the knowledge that you need to come out of a really hard situation with Saturn here. And Taurus, also deals with values, our values. So it's like, whatever you're going through, it may not be aligned with who you are intrinsically or what you value, the systems that have kind of entrapped you. It's like, this is not what you wanted for yourself. This isn't what you see for yourself. And you're trying to get out of this situation and into a place where you feel a lot more fulfilled, a lot more stable and secure. Taurus is fixed earth, where you don't have to worry about struggle so much. You see the sun, yellow really corresponds with the solar plexus chakra, which deals with our feelings of personal freedom. So not wanting to be entrapped by systems, and definitely financial systems that get you into heavy debt, or, maybe it could be as well, with other people. 8th house deals with merging. Maybe somebody else's debt that makes you feel trapped, or, just another person, intimacy wise, you might be in a relationship that makes you feel trapped, and you may you're looking for a way to, free yourself, and feel lit up again. It might have made you feel trapped, and that is very true. It may not be true for all of you. Take what applies, because it's a general reading, but the 8 of Swords is a very real feeling, and the majority of us in one way or another have been in situations or relationships that have felt really toxic, or I hear in my head right now, like, who's going to love you like I do, if you leave, or, those little things that make you feel like you have to stay with someone, or, you'll be destitute if you're not with me, or those could be things that you might be thinking to yourself, like, how would I survive alone? But yeah, that is something that I'm getting, and we'll clarify with the tarot cards right now. But that might just be for a few of you. It may not be for everybody. But our tarot cards are do this, don't do that, and then this is the takeaway for this period for you. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so the financial feeling, the feeling that this had to do with finances, really the Ten of Pentacles does support that. Do this is, the Ten of Pentacles really talks about, harvesting something, at the end of a period where we planted our seed in the Ace and we've tended to it. We've been, through grounding it and really, wanting to protect what we have, and going through financial difficulty or a period of difficulty in the 5, learning how to give and receive in the 6, being patient, a sense of mastery. There's so many lessons that we learn up until the Ten of Pentacles, where we harvest what we've grown, that seed that we've been given. So the Ten of Pentacles here really tells me that have hope, like that there is an avenue for you, that you're not as trapped as you might think you are, is what, the lesson of the 8 of Swords is. That there is a Ten of Pentacles possibility for you, that you just have to keep working towards it. It's like brick by brick. Rome wasn't built in a day. The Ten of Pentacles, the Pentacles are the slowest suit, because if you plant a seed, it's not going to bud overnight. Like, they take time to grow. It really takes tending. So at this 10, what it's saying is, in the collective reading, it was all about new beginnings, that this is you kind of keeping your eye on the prize of what it is that you want to build for yourself, because it is possible. If you are feeling like you're in heavy debt and you're trapped by it, that there is a way for you to, be really fearless and free at some point. But it's, with Saturn here, it's going to take hard work and dedication. But let's go ahead and clarify this Ten of Pentacles. There we go. The Tower. Okay, clarified by the Tower. So yeah, there really, there's a sense that there's really some stuff that you need to clear out. And with the 8 of Swords, it might be a mindset that you have to clear out about, the ways that you think about money, or that you think about your assets, about how you think about your ability to actually grow income, because sometimes that makes all the difference in the way that we move through the world. I won't say, I don't like when people say that, you have a negative money mindset and that's why, you're broke or something. That's definitely not true. Like, we have to deal with the real world too, right? That's why the Pentacles are present. Real world factors play in as well, but there might be some clearing out that you have to do, like materially, as far as debt or things that you may want to sell off that you don't need anymore. This is a big period. Pisces is a closing out of a cycle, right? Things that you really may need to get rid of that don't serve you anymore. And that could bring some more income in, or, just the way that you think about ways that you can generate income, ways that you think about maybe creating little pockets of money where you pay this down with, like, $5 here, $10 here, like, but just pulling money that, sometimes we spend on, frivolous things. And that doesn't mean that we don't deserve it, right? But if we're really trying to hit a goal, sometimes we have to think about the ways that, we can kind of temper that in, to kind of think about the long game, right? Because the 8 of Swords, we're close to a problem. We can't see the distance. That maybe it's like you need to look long term too, not just short term. Something I'm really seeing here. So don't do that is the Knight of Swords. Okay, and this to me, the Knight of Swords is like really aggressive action, and sometimes they really start quickly and they burn out and flame out just as fast, because they kind of just take off without a plan, and they start, you know, doing things without really considering the consequences. And that's what I'm seeing is like what you don't want to do. Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, you know, any card in the Pentacles suit is really grounded. You know, you have Eight of Swords here, and this is more, you know, air energy, where it's like you're really, really up in your head. And Pisces season, you know, we're in the depths of water. It can feel very confusing. But if you're taking really fast action rather than slowing down, like, you know, Saturn is Capricorn's ruler, and, you know, Taurus is fixed earth, you know, they both know how to take their time. Is that the message that I'm getting is like, move slower, make a plan, and then, you know, hit your mark, make small goals, and then have a long-term goal, and it will feel like it's more digestible, right? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. But if you're looking at something globally, it might feel too impossible with this Eight of Swords. And then you might just be like, I just have to do something, right? And have no plan. And then you're kind of setting yourself up for failure because you just take action and there's really no, you know, organized thought behind it. So really, really important. And let's look at the takeaway from this period for you. Okay, Page of Swords. Page of Swords is, you know, any page is the root. It's grounded, it's fixed. So this is really rooting your mind. So yeah, where the Knight is like ready to take off, the page is planning, you know, they're researching. So do your research, and take notes, make a plan. That way, when you know, it's time to move forward, you'll know what step 1 is, step 1A, step 1B, and then step 2, you know, that's what I'm seeing with this Page of Swords. It's like really setting yourself up for success so that you can give yourself, you know, more of a sense of freedom. So really loving that for you, pile 3, that it's possible. This Eight of Swords, like, you're really, really close to the problem and it's stressing you the hell out. But the Tower energy is saying like, you know, we're in a period of clearing out, and, you know, things that are not meant to stay, let them go, let it go. And, you know, you'll be all the better for it. So let's go ahead and pull some oracle cards for you. See what other messages are here for you, pile 3. All right. And we got Hot Moon, extremes. Okay, and that's what I was feeling with this Knight of Swords. Like, don't go to any extremes. He moves, or they, I'm sorry, I don't mean to gender court cards. They can really take extreme action and not think about the consequences. You know, kind of shoot first, ask questions later. Let's see what else we have here. One more for pile 3. This over here. Another oracle card for pile 3. Okay. Those two didn't feel like the ones. Okay, boundaries. This felt like your card. Boundaries, wax and give us 3. So yes, that was something that I was feeling as well. Like, with this Ten of Pentacles energy, this Tower energy, like I said, yeah, definitely giving yourself some boundaries, especially with Saturn present for you. You know, taking a little bit of that sense of fun away from yourself, where, you know, you might spend a little bit more mad money now. You'll thank yourself in the long run if you kind of pull that back. So really, really pay attention to where you can kind of save a little money here, a little money there. So yeah, feeling this less relationship wise and more, you know, finances wise. That's too many. Let's get another card for pile 3. Okay. Look, we got more Taurus. Last quarter moon in Taurus. Be proud of yourself. You'll be so proud of yourself when you see your progress. You will. and it's just step by step. Just like I said with this Pentacles, it's going to take time, but you know, the first, you know, part of a journey, you know, journey begins with a single step, right? So, but you know, be proud of yourself and celebrate the little successes as well, you know, not just the end goal, and that'll keep you going. And let's see what angel or ancestral archangel being or divine being wants to walk with you and help you. Okay, Goddess Kuan Yin, compassion, divine mercy, kindness. Okay, so that's it. Be proud of yourself, have compassion for yourself and where you are, because it's very difficult to work through some of these things. Look, 30 reduces down to a 3, which is Empress energy. You know, Empress is very, you know, it's ruled by Venus, and that has a lot to do with our ability to receive. So think about the ways that, you know, with this, with the swords energy, like, again, your attitudes around, you know, receiving, and your attitudes around boundaries and extremes, you know, and have compassion for yourself, and kindness, because I think the more punishing sometimes that we are with ourselves, we're much more open to make slip-ups and mistakes, because it just, it feels like, what's the point, right? You know, because we're like, oh, I'm a screw up or something. Like, don't allow yourself to speak that way. Just, you know, try to speak positivity and all good messages, you know, to yourself, even in moments of difficulty. Kuan Yin is someone that you might, you know, want to work with. We're attuning to the divine right now in this new moon in Pisces. So that is all that I'm seeing for you, pile 3. Make sure you leave a comment letting me know what pile you picked and how it resonated for you. And I want to thank you for your presence, your time, and your energy. That's truly where the magic happens. And thank you to all the collective guides and angels for these wonderful messages. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with folks, all that good stuff. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Stay safe, be gentle with yourselves, and I'll see you again soon, okay? Bye, pile 3. Hello, pile 4, and welcome to your reading. So this is for the pile that picked the Spirit Quartz and the Oracle card that says, my capacity to tune into the energy of love gives me the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, the compassion I need when it's time to forgive, and the power I need when I'm lost. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the archetype that you are working with, or that's present for you during this new moon in Pisces. And then we're going to shuffle some astro dice, shake up some astro dice, excuse me, to give us a little bit more information. Then we'll jump into your spread and pull some oracle cards. So let's go ahead and jump right in and see what archetype. All right. So we have the 7 of Cups. And in the new moon in Pisces, I can see the 7 of Cups being present, right? You know, Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and, you know, it's an expansion, a really, you know, expansion of Venusian energy. It's basically saying, like, you have a lot of options. Spirit Quartz is for spiritual growth, and we're tuning to the divine here. We're meditating and contemplating. So there may be, you know, several spirits or, you know, guides, angels, ancestors, that are really communicating messages with, you know, to you at this time, or wanting to kind of really get, you know, make connections with you. Excuse me, I was really trying to get that frequency right, because the messages are coming through. But yeah, there are a lot of different spirits, whether they're, you know, angels, gods, goddesses, ancestors. Make sure that you're inviting in well ancestors, ones that are healed, and your spirit team. They're really trying to attune to you, and that can come through in moments of meditation and contemplation. But yes, it's like tuning into the energy of love. For you, this is a Cups card. It you know, is really the state that you need to be in to allow the divine to make, you know, contact with you. But yeah, when I see, like, you know, gives me the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, it's like the divine is kind of trying to give you a sense of empowerment. And yeah, leveling up spiritually is really what I'm seeing. So yeah, compassion when it's time to forgive. It's almost like, another period of awakening for you. And power when you're lost, it's almost like a period where you're really finding yourself. So that's really, really powerful, pile 4. So what we're going to do is shake up some astro dice and get a little bit more information about this new moon in Pisces for you. All right. Let's take a look. Okay. Another pile also got the North Node, but you got first house, Scorpio, and I believe the 7 of Cups. I can't remember what planet, but this is a Scorpio card. But North Node, Scorpio. The North Node is also in the opposite sign in Taurus right now. The South Node is in Scorpio. And the first house. So the first house really has to do with the self. So you might be really plumbing the depths of yourself in many aspects, right? Because the 7 of Cups has to do with having many options or many choices, but it could be many avenues that you're exploring. The North Node is what we are trying to reach in this life, opposite the South Node of, where we come from past lives, from our roots. So really trying to get to know yourself to reach a higher spiritual kind of connection to yourself as well as the divine. But in order to do that, really, I see this Scorpio energy present, doing it in a way that is not necessarily Piscean is what I'm seeing. It's almost like, Pisces is very like high vibrational, dealing with the angels, and Scorpio is like underworld, plumbing the depths. So yeah, this is like deep excavation work that I see, and it's just really digging up a lot of things and bringing you closer to your true self so that you can reach your North Node is what I'm seeing. So let's go ahead and jump into your spread. And the first card is going to be for this period of the new moon in Pisces, like do this, don't do that. And then this is the takeaway from this period for you. So let's see what the do this is for you, pile 4. Okay, and we got the Star in reverse. So the Star in reverse, I'm getting the feeling that it's like if you are not necessarily attuning to the divine, the 7 of Cups could also be, if we're talking about meditating and contemplation, 7 of Cups can also indicate a period of being distracted, right? So the Star in reverse is like, do this, is saying, attune to the divine. Make sure that you're actually doing that, because especially with the spirit quartz, they're reaching out to you, but you also have to reach back and be paying attention, so that they can make connection with you. If you're not paying attention, if you're not tuned into their energy or your own energy, right? You can miss a lot of messages because you have to kind of be standing still. If you're doing a lot, you might miss the messages. But let's go ahead and pull a clarifier to see why this Star in reverse is here for you, pile 4. Okay, one card. Why is the Star in reverse? Why is the Star in reverse? Way too many cards. Let's see. Let's do 3 shuffles. 2, 3. Let's see. Great. Introspection. Okay. Literally what I was saying. The Prince of Cups, 9 of Cups. You see? Look at him. He is in a stance of meditation. So yes, it's saying with this reversal, make sure that you are actually slowing down and tuning into this energy. Cups really do have to do with what we love, right? So my capacity to tune into the energy of love is what allows you to attune to the messages that the divine is trying to send you in this period, that will help you level up spiritually, reach your north node, which, you know, if your north node is in the first house, it really is that you've come to this, you know, earthly plane to be yourself, like to literally, you know, your job as this in this incarnation is to get to know who you are. And a lot of that has to do with, you know, uncovering again and doing lots of excavation work and introspection. You know, and it's a repeating process, right? That's why Scorpio is here. It's that death and rebirth process. So it's a constant renewing, but each cycle gets you closer to your north node. Okay, so let's look at don't do that. Okay, and you got divine wisdom in reverse. Okay, and this is basically a repeating message here. Divine wisdom, and this is a bonus card that comes in the Moonchild Tarot. But when I see this in the reverse, it's like, do not ignore the divine wisdom that you're receiving right now. Literally, like all of these cards are repeating the same message. The Seven of Cups, like, is saying you're getting a lot, but also pay attention. Do your meditation and contemplation, whatever type of meditation works for you. It doesn't look the same for all of us, but you're getting divine wisdom, and that is a gift. Treat it like the gift that it is, and the reverence that you should be treating it with, and really do this work, especially when in a period where the sun and moon are conjunct in Pisces, the depths of the water signs, you know, the final sign of the astrological year, but really, you know, plumbing the depths. Very similar but different to Scorpio energy, but, you know, relating it to the moon card where, you know, we're plumbing the subconscious, that the divine could really be connecting to you through your subconscious. So your job is to pay attention. Literally you have one job: pay attention, be introspective. So the takeaway from this period for you is the Knight of Wands. Okay. And this is a little harder to read. You do have the first house here, which is Aries. The Knight of Wands is Sagittarius energy. Okay, now I'm seeing. Sagittarius has to do with higher beliefs and communicating. You know, it can be like very philosophical, and it could be the sign of like a preacher and spiritual knowledge. So, you know, the takeaway is that you are going to be getting a variety of different kinds of spiritual knowledge that brings you closer and closer to your true self at your North Node, getting to know who you are. And the Knight of Wands also says that maybe the next phase of your life, you know, we're talking about new beginnings in the collective part of this reading, is that you will be somebody who is a channeler, a person who's meant to share these messages with other people. But let's go ahead and get a clarifier as well for that. Let's see. Why is the Knight of Wands present for pile 4? It's too many. 3 more shuffles. Okay. Okay, 4 of Discs, stability. Okay, so the Knight of Wands here, the Sagittarius energy is a stabilizing force. Like, Sagittarius really has a large connection to the crown chakra. So it's like coming in, these messages are coming in through your crown, and really your job is to stabilize them, to bring them down to the material plane. So yeah, your capacity to tune in gives you the words to speak, the words you need to speak up. didn't I say something about being a channeler with this Knight of Wands? It's air and fire. So it's like really channeling the messages that you're receiving. But in order to bring them down from the spiritual plane down to the material plane, you have to root them, you know, you have to be the stabilizing force. So that's very, very powerful, pile 4. So let's go ahead and shuffle some more oracle cards, get some more information for this new moon in Pisces. Some more messages for pile 4. Okay. Wolf moon, hunger. Okay, and that is a 29, reduces down to an 11. That's a master number. But if you look at the 2, that is representative of the high priestess. So that is definitely a connection to your higher self and source. And then also 9 is the hermit. So wisdom, so real divine wisdom coming to you. Wolf moon, there are wolves in the moon card. Literally, that is represented, is ruled by Pisces in the major arcana. That, you know, I said something about channeling, like this hunger, like howling, you know, your truth and the things that you're learning, you know, but like a hunger for this divine knowledge too, like tune into that frequency of really being, you know, an open channel and hungry for the knowledge that spirit really wants to give you, this divine wisdom. Let's see what else we have here. Waning gibbous too, pleasure. Okay, so, you know, there is a sense of, you know, with this first house, Scorpio energy, you know, Scorpio is a sign that I feel, you know, really does correspond, you know, it has its modern rulership in, you know, with Mars, just like Aries does. You know, I can feel that sense of like getting in touch with, you know, a sense of pleasure, like see the tuning into the energy of love. It could also, you know, be doing something that you find pleasurable really gets you into a state where you're activated and attuned. So let's pull some more oracle cards, see what else we get. What else does pile 4 need to know for this new moon in Pisces? What other messages? Oh, look at that. Okay, that couldn't be more perfect. Last quarter moon in Gemini, clear your mind. Okay, look, here we go with the introspection, divine wisdom in reverse. Yes, and you know, we're trying to stabilize what it is that we want to communicate. Yes, clear your mind with this last quarter moon in Gemini. Let's see. And we got 2 more, but I'm not going to put them out. We got the last quarter moon in Cancer, take a breather, and full moon in Aquarius, be real. All right, let's see what angel beings, what angelic beings or goddesses or gods, you know, what divine beings may want to communicate or walk with you during this period of the new moon in Pisces. All right, and you guys got 2. Okay, Isis, resurrection, magic, fertility. Okay, and Isis really does harken back to that Scorpio energy, resurrection, death and rebirth, like magic. So, you know, the star really does speak to, you know, getting in touch with the divine and magic and divine wisdom. It's a very fertile period for that. Let's put that right there. Move this up. All right, and we have Mother Mary, purity of heart and conception. So you have fertility and conception. So during this new moon in Pisces, just getting this message for some of you guys, this may literally be a time of fertility for you. So if you're not trying to get pregnant, and look, we got 2 18s, pleasure, conception, wrap it up. Or, you know, do whatever it is that you do to protect yourself from an unwanted pregnancy. But if that is something that you're wanting, then, this might be a fertile time for you to try to conceive, is a literal message that I'm seeing here. And Mother Mary, might be someone that you want to call in, but purity of heart, faith, conception. So yes, tune into the frequency of faith, have faith that the divine is giving you wisdom at this time. So very beautiful messages, pile 4. And that's all I'm seeing for you. So make sure to leave a comment letting me know what pile you picked and how it resonated for you. I want to thank you for your presence, your time, and your energy. That is truly where the magic happens. And thank you to all the collective guides and angels for these wonderful messages. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel with folks. I would love to see it grow and see people find the messages. While you're at it, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Stay safe, be gentle with yourselves, and I'll see you again soon, okay? Bye, pile 4. Happy new moon in Pisces.